Okay, so let's look at quotation marks. So when someone's talking, what's called dialogue, we use quotation marks to explain that this is what they're saying. So usually called inverted commas, so quotation mark, inverted commas, and are usually for dialogue, when characters speak, when they say things in the story. And it's either this one here, like this, with two, or a single one, like that. Same thing, just two different ways of writing it, because they both have a slightly different use. It's just which one can be used when is slightly different, and there's no real rules for it. So, can be used for dialogue, saying titles of things, or when things were not the character's idea, when one character is quoting another character, for example. So, we could say, dialogue, quotation mark, opening, he told me no. He told me no. Makes sense. He said. Okay. So he, quotation mark, opening quotation mark, dot dot, line line, he told me, and then the other one, no. The no, the quote, the character quoting somebody else, goes inside other quotation marks, the singular one. And then we do a comma to close off the dialogue, and then we end the dialogue with another quotation marks at the end. He said. Who said it? Continuing in the writing, in the prose, he said. But then we can do the opposite. A single quotation mark, he told me, two quotation marks, no, comma, to show it's the end of the dialogue, and a single quotation mark, he said. So the quotation marks can be used for dialogue. It could simply be hello. Hello, how are you? How are you? Quotation mark, end quotation, dialogue. Whenever I'm writing, I use two. I use the two quotation marks, and all the grammar is inside. So question mark, comma, all within the quotation marks, and then I end it. He said, he asked, he told. He said, he told, he asked, he mentioned, continuing with the story. So quotation marks, fundamental stuff, worth being aware of. But we can also use it for titles of things. So if we say, like, the Lord of the Rings, it would be like, comma, Lord, or Lord of the Rings. Yeah, and quotation marks, Lord of the Rings, but the opposite. So if I'm using the two quotation marks for dialogue, I'll use the singular one for titles. He told me it was called The Lord of the Rings. He said. Makes sense. How cool is that, language explorers? Let's keep exploring.